Sit down, cozy up, grab your favorite comfort drink.
Because you're now listening to the Sippin' Pretty podcast. Guys, look. Look what Karo's drinking.
I have matcha today. Yeah. I decided to give the strawberries and cream matcha from Coco's another try just because everyone loves it. And I was like, there's got to be something wrong with me. But no, I just customized it. I just added an extra pump of strawberry and heavy cream. And that does this trick. I can barely even taste the matcha. Mm-hmm. I get it like in the aftertaste, but very subtle.
Yeah. We finally turned her into a matcha girly, guys.
Only a Coco's matcha.
And then I got a, what's it called? It's their like seasonal one. It's like Love Berry matcha or something like that. From Coco's as well. And it's so good. I think it's pretty much like a strawberries and cream matcha, except I know that the top has like raspberry foam on it. But yeah, it's really yummy. We had a little cutesy coffee date before.
Yeah.
We recorded today.
Had some lunch.
Some toasties, filmed some TikToks, broken ankle.
Oh my gosh. If you guys saw the TikTok, we were like cracking up.
You know what I was thinking when I was driving back home? I was like, I could totally see like getting shit for like not being able to do a cartwheel. And then I was like, I could always just play it off like it was intentional.
Yeah, no, like, literally.
I can do one, but I decided not to. I decided to fall instead. I didn't want to land it.
We were meant to be stupid, funny, you know, and I think we achieved that, so yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
The things we do for content.
Literally. Did we say literally at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, not us being the same person. So today we kind of wanted to dive into a pretty like common topic, I guess, for like not only women but like women of our age and like, I don't know, this point of life that we're getting into.
I guess we're gonna be touching on like the different stages of friendships, especially if you grew up with your friendships.
Yeah.
Because you and your best friend have known each other since high school, right?
Middle school. And so obviously friendships in those years through high school are so much different than friendships in adulthood. So we're just gonna focus on like how those change. And even how like you and I became friends kind of too, is like when we were thinking about what we were gonna talk about, that was something that I feel like I've always wanted to like really talk about, because even this past week I was telling my grandma, because she saw like the setup down here, and she was like, so what's that for? And I like told her how we have a podcast together, and she was like, really? Because she knew like all the drama that we had. And so she was like, how did that happen, you know? So I kind of had to like explain to her like we had really in-depth conversations. There was a lot of accountability. Like it was a process, but like slowly but surely we got to the point that we're at now. And I'm sure not only like her, but also people who like only knew us for like not liking each other were kind of like, what the fuck? Like, how are they?
Well, where's the energy now?
And so I think that's like really interesting to like dive into as well, because it's just like kind of that transformation of like, I don't know, maturing and like being able to like, I don't know. Just growth. That I was like, like that'd be a good topic.
Another thing is, I mean, I feel like, and I think most of you can agree with me, but friendship is like the epitome of girlhood, you know? Like friendships help you grow, they help you be confident. Your friends are the only other people closer to you than your partner or your family, you know? And those are the people that, because obviously you can't go to your family for everything. Some things are embarrassing, you know, there's a certain image you want to keep with your parents, aunts, uncles, siblings, you know? So when there are things that you might feel ashamed of, your group of friends is who you feel like you can trust with this information. Hey, like this is happening, like I need your advice, I need a listening ear, a shoulder to cry on, you know, whatever. So this is why it's important to like surround yourself with like good friends that are there for you, are mature, are graceful, and just will follow you and join you through all trials of life.
I think going off of that too, I'd say like what makes that good
like foundational like friendship for me, at least. And one thing that's really important for me when it comes to like any relationship, but specifically friendships in this case, is that not only do I like look for those traits in like somebody else, but I'm also willing to like give that myself to those people that like I choose to keep that close in my circle, to the point where like, because I will say like I don't have very many like close friends, and it's been like that pretty much my whole life. I've been very selective with who I choose to keep close to me. And one thing that I think that I've noticed as well is that and you hear this like being like a common, I don't know, like saying or whatever, is that some friends are there just for certain seasons. And I will say that like I think that I've noticed that when it comes to like my really close high school friends, like I can almost visualize like where I was in certain like times, I guess, in high school. So break it down, for instance, like freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year. For all of those different years, I did have like a pretty different friend group. And it didn't necessarily go from like huge jumps from like certain groups of friends to certain groups of friends, but it was like interchanging, if that makes sense, like kind of cycled in and out. And like, for instance, I had these really, really good friends in freshman year and sophomore year, but those were my party years. So those are the friends that I'd always go to parties with, or the friends that were hosting a lot of the parties, or, you know, the friends that we weren't making the best decisions together. Like, and then after I kind of like grew out of that, they were still like there, and we were still like friends, but we didn't hang out as much. We didn't like talk as much, you know, and that kind of just like filtered its way out because I wasn't in that season of my life anymore. So yeah, it's not only like what makes like a good long lasting friendship, I'd say, for me, is like not only seeing those people, seeing the qualities in those people that I know will be there for like all different seasons, you know, like you said, like shoulder to cry on, venting sessions, like whatever, but also somebody that I know that I can be that person for them as well. Like I know that I'm not just there for like a certain season of their life too. I don't know, I guess like how did you see your friendships like change throughout like high school and like where you are now?
In high school, I didn't really have a lot of close friends. I had 2 really good friends. And I will say I had my faults in high school. Like I can admit that I also wasn't like the best friend that I should have been. But again, I guess that's where like the accountability comes in, you know, and these are all things that like you look back on and you can grow from, and they help you become a better friend, a better person in general. But honestly, I don't know.
So you had like 2 like really close friends. So like, was it kind of like how I said, like where you kind of just grew out of that friendship?
So
you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. We weren't planning on going into this. I was just trying to like.
So so let me backtrack. In high school, I really had 2 really good friends.
Right.
And one of them I'm still friends with to this day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
But then, and I met her my sophomore year when I moved here to Greeley.
Is that Louisa?
No, that's Rosie.
Oh, Rosie.
Yeah. And then Louisa I knew in high school, but I didn't actually become friends with her until I met her at my job.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, my other friend, I became friends with her my junior year. And she was my friend that I would always go to lunch with. She was my friend that I would, we were in this club together in school. So we were always together.
Okay.
We were in fashion club together. Every single day after the gym, we would go to the gym together. And her name's Leslie. Shout out to you. I love you. And we were literally just like your day-to-day friends. You know, we had like boy drama, we would tell each other, you know? And we actually fell off. I like to take my part of the accountability, but we fell off because I looking back, I was being really selfish. This was her senior year. and she decided to go to prom at a different school rather than our school. And we had like already made plans to go together. And I was really upset with her, and yeah, we had a like argument over this. But looking back, I realized that that was her last year. That was her senior year. You know, like I should have been like, you know what, like live it the way you want to live it. It's your last year of high school, like enjoy it the way you think is best, you know? But yeah, so we fell off, and I feel like I wasn't ready to be mature enough. Like I wasn't mature enough. Like, I didn't have the maturity then that I have now. And I feel like with my other friendship, we got to see, we had arguments, but we overcame those, you know? So we experienced that like immaturity, that selfishness, and now carrying on into our adult life. If we don't hang out all the time, if we have different friendships, like that's not a problem, you know? Because at the end of the day, we're still friends, and we know that we'll see each other when we see each other.
You guys nurture that friendship, how it like works for both of you.
So it's really, really beautiful to be able to look back on and think, wow, like we were once just girls, like just kids, like thinking that our biggest problem was our AP test the next day, you know, or a boy breaking up with us, or a boy not answering our text. And now we're moving into adulthood where she has a job, I have a family, you know, it's just weird. It's not weird, but it's like bittersweet almost, you know, but it's just nice to get to see your friends develop into like beautiful adults who are healthy.
Right. I think the bitter side of it is like going from being together all the time for like any little thing to then like having to work around each other's like schedules and things like that. But the sweet part is that you're still able to make it work. Like no matter what, you guys are still able to like make it work through all of these different like life changes. Like you always find a way, and that's like I think probably one of the like first tells of a really good like healthy friendship.
And I will say it kind of sucks that because me and my friend Leslie we're like, I wouldn't say like we never addressed the problem like our argument, but we're kind of like okay now, you know, like we follow each other on social media. It's rare if we text, but it's kind of like heartbreaking that we don't get to share like this level that we've reached now in our adulthood of like maturity and like where I guess it's like it's almost like a need to be like I can be a healthy friend now, like I can be a good friend to you now. And I'm sorry that we don't get to experience that together anymore, because at one point we were really good friends, you know. But then I'm really like just thankful that we're both able to give each other that grace and move past that, because she was a really good friend
to a certain extent that you guys have now, but it's still not to the point where like either one has like addressed like, hey,
like I know I hurt you, but and it's definitely like something that like I'm open to, because again, she was really sweet. One time I needed notebooks for math class. I think I told you, and we came home and she was like, I'm gonna go to Target. I mentioned it to her, and I don't know if she had to go to Target or she offered to take me. So we walk in and I asked my mom, hey, like I need notebooks. And my mom goes, I don't have money to buy you notebooks right now. Like we can't afford it. And she was like, I'll take you, like I'll buy them for you. And she bought me math notebooks. Which again, like it was such a stupid argument that like honestly was just not worth it. All that to say, like, you know, you look back on things and you realize like at the end of the day, you're just girls going through high school, and you can regret like.
And the hurt wasn't that deep for it to be like. I'm sure at the time it felt like it cut that deep. But like as you live and learn and grow, like you realizing like, it didn't need to be that deep. But then there's also still that like weird like, I don't know, level of like we follow each other on social media, but we don't really like talk. So like I think everything's like fine, but we haven't talked about it.
And you know how you touched on like there's friends that are only meant to be with you in certain seasons. I think that's also like, it's a good thing, and it's also like really heartbreaking as well, because again, these friends that are only there for certain seasons don't get to know you when you're like blooming, you know, when you've come out of that shell, when you've come out of your cocoon and you turn into this butterfly. Not me with the fucking metaphors, the analogies or whatever. But like that's what my high school friendships were like, and how they carried on through now. But nonetheless, they were good friendships, and I think, I don't know, I'm just happy for everyone, you know.
Right. I had like I said, I had like a group of friends in in freshman year and sophomore year that were kind of just there for like my party years. But again, like we kind of just like grew out of that friendship. There was not necessarily anything big that happened, like no fight or anything like that. I say like at least one of them I still talk to like here and there. And then obviously I have my best friend Taylor, who we've been best friends since freshman, sophomore year of high school. We've known each other since middle school. And I can kind of like go into like the backstory of that too, because there's like a lot of levels to that friendship. But staying kind of like relative to like what we're talking about now, I did also have like really close friends my junior year and my senior year of high school. I'd say like a lot of my friendships stemmed from the cheer team. Like the cheer team was like that tool, I guess, that I used to like build really good friendships, like being involved in things, kind of like you were really close with somebody through like a club. Yeah, cheer was definitely like where I built a lot of my really close friendships. And yeah, it is sad because like one of my friends that I was super, super close with, I'd say almost closer with her at one point in my life than I was like my best friend, like Taylor. We were super, super close her junior year, my senior year. And I mean, together literally all the time, even out like past high school. I went to her, you know, graduation because she graduated a year after me. I went to her graduation party. We were pregnant at the same time. When I was pregnant with Kingston, we were pregnant at the same time. Her daughter ended up being like 2 or 3 weeks younger than Kingston. Kingston was born, and then like 2-3 weeks later her daughter was born. And for those really early years, I mean, she was a friend that would like always show up. Like she always had Christmas presents for my kids. Like we were always there for each other, you know, whatever. And it just like got to a point where and I'll go into this too, but no bad blood or anything. It was just like, I think it was just a communication thing between us. Like how we would communicate one thing or another with each other, and it just like wasn't really hitting the way it needed to hit for it to like stay. And then because of that reason, like the distance just grew like bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, until eventually like we just,
it was inevitable,
didn't talk anymore. I'd say that like recently I had reached out to her for something that we were talking about. And I had reached out to her just to like ask her a quick question or whatever, and you know, she responded pretty quickly and it was fine. And I mean, even before that, we had texted a couple times, like trying to get together, you know, like let's make plans, you know, do something, but it never happened. But I will say that like that is one friendship that I definitely had to like mourn the fact that it was just for a season, because I saw like so much potential in like it being a long-term thing. And like it hurts like a breakup, like when you fall in love with like a boy and like you swear that he's the one or whatever, and then you guys break up. Like friendship breakups can hurt that bad as well too. Because it's I
think like the fact that you guys went through like motherhood together even makes it even more like
And I mean, I was always at her house, like always. I was never really the friend who always had friends over at my house. I was more of the friend that like always spent time at other people's houses. But yeah, always at her house, always doing things like with her family, not even just like us, like literally with her whole family.
So you really grew like those roots in the friendship. It wasn't just super like just you two. It went deeper than that.
So that one hurt, but like at the same time, like I understand like why it happened the way that it happened, and I wish her the best. And I don't think we have each other on social media anymore. But I mean, there's no, like I said, bad blood or animosity. It's kind of just like growing out of that, sadly.
It's life.
With Taylor though, the like origin story, I guess, of our friendship, like I said, we met in middle school, and we actually met through a mutual friend. So my best friend in middle school was Taylor's best friend in elementary school. And when we got to middle school, her and I went to the same middle school together, but her and Taylor obviously like had gone to different schools or whatever. So they were still friends and whatnot. And so I remember she had invited me over for a sleepover. We used to have like campouts in her backyard. So we'd literally set up like a tent and everything and like sleep in the backyard. And she invited Taylor. And I remember, and Taylor will agree, like our very first interactions were like, who's this girl trying to take my best friend? Like, because we shared the same like best friend. Like to Taylor, that was her best friend, and to me, that was my best friend.
It became a competition.
Yes.
It became a competition of like who's closer to her.
Oh my gosh, yeah, for sure. So it was kind of just like a little side eye moment, you know, whatever. And then eventually we got to high school, and we were all at the same high school. We had one class together. I'm pretty sure it was only one class. Where we ended up sitting at the same table, and so like we were kind of like forced to talk, but there was still that like underlying feeling of like this girl like tried to take my best friend, you know. And then it was like as soon as we started talking, we just realized that like we clicked, like we, you know, like could get along really well and whatever. And from that day forward, like it was every single day we were together, like as much as we could. She was on the cheer team my freshman year, and so I like came to find out like as much time as I'd love to spend with you, we can't really spend that much time together because she's always busy with either practice or competition season or games that she had to cheer at or whatever. So then eventually she was like, well, you want to spend more time with me, like just try out for the cheer team. Like I guess the coach had like noticed how much time I was spending with her, and he was like, who's that girl, like just have her join the cheer team, you know. Like so I joined the cheer team sophomore year, and then we were really able to like be together for everything because we were on the same exact schedule. We were in IB together at school, which if you don't know what that is, it's an international baccalaureate, so it's like AP classes, but you're basically like earning college credits while you're in high school. So that when you graduate high school, you can, the way they advertise it is that you can go into college basically being like a sophomore instead of a freshman. But that's only if you get all the credits. I literally only got like a Spanish credit and an English credit, and that was it. And I'm like, what am I gonna do with that? I'm going into psychology for college, like BFFR. But all the IB kids tend to have the same classes together because you're all in the same like program or whatever. So we had almost every single class together, on the same schedule as far as after school with like cheer and stuff like that. And then just she's literally been there ever since. I was at her house like every single day. We were during the summer, we were together like every single day of the summer. After we graduated, we would still like hang out all the time. She always shows up for the boys. Like she's there for everything. She was the maid of honor in my wedding. I'm about to be the maid of honor in her wedding. She ended up moving away from like where we like grew up basically. And she's in Castle Rock now, which is like an hour and a half, 2 hours with traffic probably from us. And so we've kind of sort of had to like dive into the like long distance friendship. It's not like super long distance, but it's still like with me having like kids and like a family here, and then having to like navigate getting out there. We definitely don't see each other as much as we'd love to, but that's one of the things that we've had to like work around and work through together. And it's a give and take like relationship. And that's important for a relationship, for a friendship to last. It has to be a give and a take. You have to be willing to give what you're wanting to receive. It can't just be like an expectation on the other person's end. So, that's my little rant about me and Taylor.
Love that. I kind of want to touch on what you just said at the very end. You had to be willing to give what you expect. And not saying that like that's not always like completely, well, how do I say that? There are some friendships where some people focus on the wrong things. In the sense that like I personally, because of the life I live and like I'm a stay-at-home mom living off of one person income.
Yeah.
And my fiance's income has to provide for 4 people, you know? So I'm not the type of friend that can always give a gift on a birthday or give a gift on Christmas, you know? And I feel like some people think about that, what you just said, like you have to be willing to give.
In a materialistic way.
Yeah, in a materialistic way. And that actually causes a lot of problems. And one of the reasons that I personally don't like to like receive gifts from my friends is because I know that I probably won't be able to do that for you.
I think we've talked about that before when it comes to like buying each other coffees or like meeting each other for breakfasts and things like that. Yeah.
Factors definitely do play a big part on things like that. And again, it's really easy to like lose track of the things that really matter. And I even made an Instagram story. Did you guys see that story? I know you guys saw that fucking story. Where I posted a picture of me, all my hair all messy. And I was like, I will go out in public looking like this because I don't care what people think about me. And people who usually focus on things like this are very materialistic people.
Right.
And that's another thing. I feel like when you have friends like that, that only look at what you can do for them in a materialistic way, instead of like what you do already do for them. You're a good listener. You show up when it matters. You know, their kid's birthday. Did you bring a gift? No, but you were there.
Exactly.
You know.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like it also with that, like what I just said. Like you have to be willing to give what you're wanting to receive.
Yeah.
Not only it being in like a materialistic way. For some people.
Yeah.
And in the situation that I'm talking about like energy. I'm talking about like
the emotional support.
Yes, and all of that stuff, right? But if you want to look at it in that like materialistic sense, then it also needs to come with a sense of understanding.
Yeah.
Because similar to what you said about like not being able to like give the best gifts or like whatever on like holidays, birthdays, not being able to like buy breakfast every time you guys go out to eat, like whatever. It also depends on the lifestyle that you each are like living and having that understanding for each other. So like for instance, me and Taylor is a boss ass bitch and she like is really good with her finances. She doesn't have kids. She's like barely gonna get married, but her and her husband both like work full time on their own. So like they are able financially to do a lot more than, you know, Billy and I are on a single person income, like that's helping to provide for 4 people. You know what I mean? But like never once has she like held that against me. But even now, like with the distance between like her and I, like the hour and a half distance or whatever, she will always make an effort to in some way like show like her gratitude for like me making the effort by either like offering to pay for my gas or like buying me coffee or boba or something while we're up there. Like it never fails that she always wants to like show that gratitude in one way or another. And while it's not like expected by any means, because again, like we were talking about like materialistic things, right? It's not expected because like I know that like I would want that same effort from her. You know what I mean? Like for instance, like the boys' birthday's coming up and she's coming to Greeley for the boys' birthday. And so it's like things like that, like not putting, I guess, like a price on it and like having that like materialistic expectation, but just like that being her form of like showing gratitude towards like, and like recognizing the effort is being made, you know, to like do those things for us to be able to like hang out. I guess. Like, however, I guess what I'm trying to say with this too is like, however you have to like pour into that friendship because it's going to look different for like every relationship. We could use like ours, for instance. Like the way that like we pour into our friendship is we text a lot, we talk a lot, and then we get together to film the podcast. But we were even talking about how like this alone is like a lot of our hangout time. Like this is when we see each other. This is when we hang out. Because if it's not like a family gathering where we're like all together, you and I don't really like get together like one-on-one unless it's filming. And that's just because this is already like a once a week type of thing. We have to allot like a big chunk of time to even getting this done, you know? and work with each other's schedules and like things like that. Like there's been times we had to move around times, move around dates.
And even then, before, we were able to like hang out throughout the week and then film for the podcast. And now that that's like stopped, because again, you have a job and like we each have our own responsibilities, we still are able to like catch up with each other through messages, you know. And one of the things I think you've mentioned before is sometimes one of us will take long to reply, and even then that's something that we don't hold against each other.
No,
because it's life. We're adults, we have priorities, we have kids, you know, you have a job.
When that level of understanding is there, like, and I think it was it this week or was it last week?
What?
Where I had asked you like what you were doing or something, and you responded with what you were doing, and you were like, "What's up?" And I literally said, I was like, "Oh, nothing. We just like haven't talked today." So I thought that I'd like text you.
Yeah.
So like it's even just like to check in. Like it's not necessarily like an expectation that we like text all day every day.
Yeah.
But it's just like, okay, if like it's been a little bit since we've talked, it's not going to be like, "Where are you? Why are you not texting me?" or like anything I'm going to hold against you. It's going to be like a checking in, like, "Are you good?" type of thing. And if you are, then great. Like we have lives outside of our phones. Like we're not going to be able to do that all the time. But yeah, just having that, you know, level of understanding. And excuse me. Another thing is that I think goes into like having a good, like healthy friendship, now that we're like talking about this, is just communication in general. Like always being able to like communicate. Like Taylor and I, as far as like arguments go, there was a time in high school where I can't even remember what exactly the like point of our argument was, but I know we got into an argument where we went a good amount of time without like really talking to each other or hanging out or anything like that. And during that time, we both kind of found like other close friends that we were, you know, pouring more into and like prioritizing more and things like that. And then eventually like we started talking again, and it wasn't even necessarily anything kind of similar to like yours where we like addressed it. It was kind of just something that we like started talking again and like moved past. And then just continue to like obviously prioritize each other again and move into the season of our lives that we are in, you know, now. But obviously I think that time that we weren't talking and hanging out and everything could have been mended easily by good communication. And like the falling out that I had with my other really close friend, that could have easily like been done and over with probably years ago had we, and this still applies, had like better communication. Like if we just reached out and like talked about it, you know?
But again, like I mentioned before, in high school, it is so hard to like just honestly build the courage, you know, to take accountability and like apologize and talk about the problem. Because it is so much easier, obviously, with like not only what social media feeds you, but like maybe other girls in school, other friendships, and we're like, "Oh no, fuck that bitch," you know, like, so it's kind of easier to like lean towards like, I guess, a level of like comfort, or like I'm gonna how do you say that? Like, I'm gonna kind of like shell myself, build a wall, or like hide behind that like mask of like, it's fuck you, you know, like, than it is to like take that off and be vulnerable. And
like open up
and say, I'm really sorry for like what happened.
And I think as an adult, the way that has like changed for me, because like I say, like even now that could be a conversation that we have, but I think my reservations around it now are more so just like me kind of like feeling exhausted, I guess, of being the one that's like always trying to initiate the hard conversations and always trying to be, and like that really being like picking my battles. Like as an adult, I'm like, I don't have time for that back and forth like high school bullshit, you know? And if all it's gonna do is like exhaust me, then like in my mind it's not really worth it. Like I have other relationships that like give me what I put in. How does it go? Like I'm putting in what I'm getting back out of it. You know? Like it's a very like it's not like transactional.
Yeah.
You know, it's very like, it's a group effort, and it doesn't take like a ton of energy.
It's something that, you know, both parties are constantly pouring into.
Yeah.
Almost like again, energy that just flows,
Yeah.
rather than energy that stops until the other person pours.
Exactly.
And then yours pours, or theirs stops until you pour.
Yeah.
It's just constant, you know, and it's healthy. And but back to you, like, mentioning how exhausting it is to always be the one taking accountability. It also brings us back to, like, if I'm able to do that at this age, you should too. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like, I guess, like, there's also this place where, like, that other person knows that you can do that, knows that you're able to bring up the hard conversations.
And so they kind of just sit back and wait for you to be the one to do it again.
That. Yeah.
But then it's like, that's when you're kind of have to be like, and that could be in a sense like setting a boundary.
Yeah.
That could be setting a boundary, saying, I'm not doing this anymore because I'm always the one that's doing it. And like, how is this friendship supposed to work if only one party is playing their part?
Yeah.
If only one person is doing their part, like, how is this friendship supposed to work? Because then it almost makes you like build that like animosity kind of, where it's like, fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh, where it makes you like second guess, like, are we actually this close, or do I just think that we're this close? Because
it's almost like an insecurity.
Yeah, it's like, are we actually like really this close, or am I just like doing too much and we're not actually this close? Like, do you see it the same way I see it?
Or like, are you just friends with me because I reached out and practically begged you to like be my friend again?
Exactly.
You know? It'll make you feel like you're begging for a friend.
Yeah. And at this grown age, like, I just do not have the time for that. Like, I'm all for, you know, the accountability, the hard conversations.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that I'm like steering away from that, but you definitely have to be more like, you have to pick and choose like what is going to be more like worth it and what isn't.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying that in like like trying to bash this one particular friend type of way, because it's nothing against her. It's just almost like the way that we worked together.
Yeah.
Like, it's not personal. It's just like, if we don't mesh well, like, together, then we can let it be what it is.
Yeah.
And if that's nothing, then that's nothing. You know? Like,
Yep.
we can mourn the friendship that we once had and move on.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean that there has to be any, like, animosity or any, like, hard feelings around it.
It's just accepting it for what it is.
Yeah,
and
that's just what it is. And we both move on with our lives.
like, it was good while it lasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, like, kind of being like those friends that were just there for like a season. You know? But the reason that I say that I'm all for like the hard conversations and the accountability and things like that is because that ultimately is like what got us to where we are now, and like how close we are now too.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we didn't start off on like the best foot, but like me and my best friend didn't either.
Girl,
you know?
we started off on the most fucked up one.
We started off like on the edge of a cliff. Yeah. But I think it was part of that too, is that it wasn't like one of us or the other. It was both of us.
Yeah.
And same thing with like me and Taylor. It was both of us that like swore we hated each other before we actually gave each other like the time of day. And we were both open to that too. And then we realized like, okay, like we're able to like get along.
Yeah.
And like those relationships don't happen like overnight either.
No.
It's very like baby steps to getting to that point.
Yeah.
And I think that's good, because you have to be able to like, you know how long it's going to last if you nurture it.
Yeah.
You know, and you know that it's going to last when you're both willing to like put in the energy and the effort to constantly nurture that relationship and to like water it and see it grow.
Yeah. I think with you and I was an equal, like a very good balance of like both of us trying to like take accountability, because you were the one that was like brave enough, like had the courage to like invite me out for coffee. And that alone was like, I imagine probably like nerve-wracking. Well, no, you said you weren't like nervous, right?
I was more so, okay, this is how it worked in my mind, and this might be like narcissistic, but in my mind I almost saw it as like a test.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
And
you
I told
did
you
mention
this,
that.
yeah. And I was like, not in the way, that sounds really negative, but that's the best way that I could describe it, okay?
Yeah.
Was basically just me like testing the waters and being like, all right, like if I take the first step and she is really serious about her saying that she's like willing to move past it or like wanting things to be better or whatever, then let's see if that's true, right? So I'm gonna put myself out there and I'm gonna invite you to do something. And if you tell me no, then that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
And that'll be the end of me like making an effort. But if you say yes, then that's one step closer to you actually putting action to the words that you're saying.
Yeah.
And same thing on my end. I was like, I'm going to put action to what I'm saying, and I am actually willing to like get past this if you are too.
Yeah.
And so I'll make the first move, but like, what are you going to do with it type of thing.
One of the things that I always said was, I'm going to go into this in the most genuine way possible. Like no negativeness on my part.
Oh, negativity. Yeah.
Oh, negativeness.
Negativeness. Girl, negativity.
No negativity on my part. And kind of like, I'm going to leave that in your ball. If you do me wrong, then I can like say fuck you.
Right.
But for now,
we said that to each other
like,
too. Because we were like, remember, because we had brought up how I had said, like, I don't owe you anything.
Yeah.
And you were like, obviously, like, I took offense to that, but like, it was kind of like true because we didn't owe each other anything.
We didn't
have a foundation of like trust or any sort of relationship at all. We basically were strangers that said we hate each other without even getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And that was our narrative. That was, you know.
Yeah.
But once we both had agreed, we were like, once we start building this foundation of trust and building this relationship with each other, should one of us like do the other one wrong in any way, shape or form, now we have 100% like a valid reason almost.
Yeah.
Not that the other reasons weren't valid, but like a very, I don't know, like you can feel that like sense of
Like justification.
Yeah. That like feel that you were like betrayed.
Yeah. Yeah. And then after that, again, and this is just like an example of like how pouring into something works and taking accountability, because after that it was kind of like inviting each other to the park with the kids because it was like summertime, or inviting each other to, again, coffee. And then as we kept like talking and hanging out, we realized, hey, like we really have good conversations. And then the podcast came about and the rest is history. But point is, like, that's how you nurture relationships, and that's how like accountability works. Like you have to be brave to like take that accountability. And if you already have an existing friendship, that's all it takes for you to like continue nurturing that friendship, for that friendship to be rebuilt and for trust to be gained again. You know, or not even just trust, but like to know that like the other person like genuinely feels sorry for hurting you.
Well, and to continue to like grow and continue to like move on. Like how do you expect for your relationship to thrive for years and years and years and years if you can't be vulnerable with each other, if you can't have hard conversations and like haven't mastered that level of communication? Because like, while like for instance, like romantic relationships aren't perfect, like you're gonna have to put work into it. It's the same exact thing for friendships. You're gonna have little arguments. You're gonna have like little disagreements or little things that like each other does that you don't like, you know? And you have to be willing to like have those conversations and be like, well, this is like what I'm thinking, this is where I'm at, like, you know, whatever, and then like work with each other on it.
Yeah. And you know what? I think I actually like, I wouldn't say I like confrontation, but I like constructive conversations, I guess. Because even when I argue with Alex, like when we get in arguments, I always tell him, and please don't just sit there and nod your head. Like talk to me. Right. Tell me. If you're mad, tell me what you're, I want to, not like pick your brain. I want to know exactly what's going on in your mind. And that's really important, like to have these conversations so that you can gain perspective on the other person and perspective on how you hurt them and why it hurt them. Because have you heard that saying that just because your pain isn't the same as someone else's doesn't mean it doesn't hurt? If in a friendship a friend feels like there's something lacking, bring it up to them and again have a constructive conversation like, hey, you know what, that's something we can work on, you know. But if you feel like you're already doing enough in your friendship, explain to them why you feel like that's you doing enough, or maybe that's all you can give. And again, all this will either help you move past it or realize, you know what, maybe what you can give is just isn't enough for me. If that's your best, like I don't like it, and that's fine, and you part
that
ways.
doesn't do it for me.
But that's why like conversations are important, because rather than just falling off, you at least get an understanding why. And like you're talking about your friendship that you like, basically like the distance grew bigger and bigger. Like you got tired of being that person of bringing up those conversations. So now you're kind of left with like the
accepting that
there's no explanation, no nothing. I just have to accept it for what it is.
Well, and I think that was like coming to terms with the fact that I know that I've done everything that I can, and the ball is not in my court anymore.
Yeah.
And that might be like, I don't know if it's like selfish or like, I don't know. However you could see that in like a negative like light, that I'm like just not doing enough. But that's literally, like I said again, like boundaries, like knowing when like it's getting to the point where you're just exhausting yourself. And I like that you said like the communication and the hard conversation should be constructive. There is a difference between like being able to be open to having like a constructive conversation and feeling like any sort of constructive criticism, I guess, or any sort of like problem that is being like brought up to be like talked about is a personal attack. Because I think that that's when it becomes an issue, is when the other person can only see things as like a personal attack, and you just like coming for them and getting into that like victim mode almost, instead of seeing it for what it is and being like, hey, we can get past this if we just talk about it. Like it's not necessarily like a pointing finger situation, like where it's like, well, you did this and you did this and you did that. It's just coming from a place of like, well, I'm feeling this way, so like can we talk about it and like agree to like move on and work towards it? Or is it like something to the point where this has to be like the end all be all and we just like go our separate ways? Because it doesn't have to be that way, you know? Especially, again, we're talking about like friendships in like this stage of like adulthood, right? And yeah, especially at this like age, I guess, like you have to have that level of understanding in order for those friendships to work. Because if it's going to be stuck in, like I said, like I don't want to do that whole like high school like back and forth like BS, you know? If it's to the point where I can't tell you that something is bothering me without you being like, oh well, you do this, that, and the other, and it just being a competition of like who does each other worse type of thing, then like save it. Like spare me, you know?
Touching on like the importance of like constructive conversations, have them. Please have them, and do not hold them, because that will only make you hold an internal grudge, internal resentment. And at that point, the relationship is poisoned. Literally, it's poisoned. It kind of makes me question the genuinity.
Genuinity? Okay, what was the word before?
How many words have I
You're adding to the dictionary? Genuinity? Actually, is that a word? Genuity.
No, that's like something with the brain. Genuineness.
Genuineness?
Right?
No. Genuineness? No, how genuine? It makes you question how genuine.
It makes, sorry guys, sorry. It makes me question how genuine our friendship was, or your intentions. That's why you have to have the conversations, because it makes you view someone, or maybe accuse them, assume things that aren't even true. Because instead of bringing it up, then you kind of start building like, are you even a good friend? Like, when in reality,
some
like,
narrative in your brain that it's like, okay, if this is the way it's going down, then you must be doing X, Y, and Z.
You must just be a bad friend. But no, maybe I'm not the best person, the best friend for you. But if you bring up that your concerns, then I can do my best to be what you need in this friendship, if you guys both truly care.
Right.
And that's why it's important to have those conversations soon. The minute you feel something, have those conversations.
But I think another thing that is super important to like remember going into adulthood, having super close friendships that have lasted for years and years and years, or since you guys were like, I don't know, 2 years old or whatever, is the importance of like continuing to make new friends as you like continue on life. And that those new friendships and those new bonds that are being built are not at all like a threat or it doesn't make like your older friendships inferior to those newer friendships. You know what I mean? Like it is still very healthy to continue to make new friends into your adulthood. Does it get harder? Yeah. Just because there's, you know, again, having that level of like understanding for each other and like each other's lifestyles and things like that.
Yeah.
Like that can sometimes like not necessarily get in the way, but be things that you have to like work around, you know? But it doesn't by any means mean that older friendships or friendships that have, you know, been deeper or, you know, gone on longer or whatever are any less than those newer friendships, or that they're like almost trying to like come in and like take those people's place. You know what I mean? Like, I still consider you like a best friend, but I am fully convinced that you can have more than one best friend.
Yeah.
It's not like you can only have one best friend that's like do or die like forever, right? Because my best friend relationship with Taylor will always be its own thing. Like no one else is going to be able to like touch that like level, I guess, because we have the years behind it. We have the different conversations and hardships behind it. Like there's different like levels to it. You know what I mean? And even if there weren't, even if you guys ended up being on, you know, the same level at one point in time, as far as like, I've told you the same things that I've told her or like whatever, like I still view you two, I'm using you guys as example. So like you two people as like your own people. And those are our own relationships.
Well,
and that's not like,
and it's also, let's say you come to Taylor for the same problem. You come to both of us for the same problem. It doesn't mean that we're both going to give you the same advice.
Right. It's two different perspectives.
Yeah, it's two different perspectives, two options of like what advice to take, you know?
Exactly.
Because I will say like sometimes you'll tell one friend something and you're like, oh, I wish I had someone else to talk to this about, you know? I wish I had a different perspective. Because then it's like, you're my best friend, but like, I feel like you're always, which your best friend might always like be on your side, but sometimes they'll give you like a counter point of view. But still, you know, sometimes that second point of view is needed. It's healthy,
right?
And which is why like I feel like when I was in high school, I'd kind of be like, oh, my best friend's only telling me this right now, you know. And then if I found out she was telling someone else, I was like, wait, I thought like that made it special, you know. But no, you're a friend. People in general, human beings, need a listening ear, need social
interactions.
Interactions? Oh, yes.
What? Is that a word? Yes, I'm using real words.
Yeah, social interactions to survive. I mean, literally, guys, like in my college psychology class, I learned that there was this test done where they put one monkey in a cell alone and one monkey with other baby monkeys. The monkey that was on its own died. Even though it was being fed and taken care of, because he had no social interaction. Like that, we humans need that. So again, having
the monkey that's being beat up right now, because that's what I was thinking of. What's his name? Punch, yeah.
He's been punched on.
The monkey.
It's literally like they name him Punch for that purpose.
Isn't there like a thing, and I might be making this up, but isn't there a thing where like humans are literally like pack animals?
Yeah.
Like we
thrive off of social social interactions. Sorry.
Social cues.
Yeah. So again, don't resent your friend for being human. And literally, there are billions of people in this world. You're not going to get along with just one. You're not going to have the same point of view as just one. And it's a beautiful thing when you're able to surround yourself with multiple people who share similar points of views and people who you can come to for problems, because at the end of the day, it's your village that matters.
Well, and I think not all friendships have to be like super deep either. Like you can have like friendships. Did we mention this at the beginning? Like you can have friendships for like not just certain seasons, but also like certain environments.
You know,
like
what?
You have work friends. And those are the people that are the closest to you at work. And you may like hang out here or there outside of work. But like for the most part, like that's just that level, right? Of work friends. And then you know what I got to thinking about? Was when the guys played softball. There were people there that like we'd hang out and we'd talk and we'd like all sit together on the bleachers and things like that. But like those were softball friends. Like we all hung out and like did things together during softball season. But like during the off season, do we ever see each other? Do we ever talk? No, not really.
During softball season, we'd like go to, after the games, we'd either go out to dinner or come to someone's house and hang out.
You build that relationship to the point where like you're able to call each other like friends, but you're not necessarily best friends. You're not necessarily the person that I'm gonna trauma dump my entire life story to you. But like we're still cool and we're still close. And like that's still good. And I think as you get into adulthood, those are probably the relationships that are like more common, because again, like good, like long lasting, deep friendships just take like a little bit more, and not everybody at this like age and this point in our lives is like able to, not even not willing, because there's people that are willing, like I'd be willing to do that, like to reach this level with like other people, but it's just like the time like that it takes.
And I will say, let me unpopular opinion, please tell me if you agree with me. It is important to have a friendship that you can be deep with, have fun with, and be just, I guess, like not so serious with. Because
I don't agree with you.
what do you mean?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was like, you don't even know what my point
I'm
is.
just trying to give a different point of view. I'm like, no, wrong. Just kidding.
Because it can be exhausting listening to someone's problems all day, every day, every time you hang out. So I think we have a pretty good balance where we can talk about like our personal issues and give each other advice, but then we can also like jump back and forth between different topics. We can talk about day-to-day life things. We can talk about the new makeup drop, you know, we can talk about the new trend going on, but we can also be deep. We can also like, I don't know, you know, it's just a variety of things that you can do, because you are also allowed to kind of draw a boundary of like, if you have that type of friend that it's always complaining about life and just always seeing things in a negative view, you kind of be like, hey, you know what, like,
I'm not only here for
I love
dumps.
you, but like,
Yeah.
I have a life too. I have my problems too. I have my issues too. Like, kind of like, when do I get to vent about those, you know? Or kind of like, you know what, like, or if both you and your friend do vent about things like that constantly, you can also be like, hey, you know what, I'm kind of like, I don't want to do that anymore. You know, like, I think I want to like talk about other things other than, because life itself is always going to have problems.
Right.
You know, and it's very, very rare when you find people that can focus on the good, even when life is shitty, even when life is throwing punches at you. And that's the thing you need. That is what you need. People who can help you look at the good things in life, even when life is going shit.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what makes like a best friend, like that's what kind of like reaches you to that status of like best friend status.
Yeah.
Is like when all of those levels are being met. When it's not just like the fun friend or just the friend from work or just the friend from, you know, like how other friendships can kind of just like how we mentioned, like stay at those levels.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the best friend status kind of covers all of that, where you're able to have those really deep conversations, but that's not all it is.
Yeah.
You guys are also able to like go out to eat, go out for drinks. You guys are also able to rot on the couch and watch TV all day together. You guys are also able to talk every single day, all day long, but also sometimes go maybe 3-4 days without talking and then jump right back in to those conversations like
where you left off. Or hey, remember I was telling you about this the other day? Let me carry on.
Exactly.
I'm gonna use us as an example. Valentine's Day. I was like not having a good day. I was going through something, and did you message me first? I think you messaged. No, you didn't reply to my message earlier in the day, and then you replied later at night. And I kind of like brought it up to you, and
that you were going through it.
Yeah, and you kind of like asked me why, and I was like, no. I was like, don't worry about it. I was like it's Valentine's Day. Like, I don't want to like shit on your parade. Is that like
rain on your parade?
Oh,
shit on your parade. Girl. That works.
Yeah, like I was like, I don't want to like pour my problems. I don't want to spill my problems to you when like this is meant to be a happy day, you know?
Yeah.
And like you could have been like, oh, it's okay, like that's fine, you know? But then like that's you chose to like listen to me either way. Like you still were like, no, like let me know, you know. But also if you would have been like, okay, I understand, that would have been fine too, because like you're able to like choose, you know what, like I'm gonna have like a good day, like I'm gonna end it on a good note. Like I kind of don't want to listen to your problems right now, you know, because it's okay, like
it's valid.
It's valid. But as a friend, you should also like think that like, wait, like is it really the best time to kind of like bring my problems up to her, or should I kind of like hold off for another time? Like you should also have that awareness,
right?
To like, hey, like maybe my friend can't show up for me the way I need her to right now. So I kind of like threw that out there for you, but you chose that, like, you know what, I can't show up for you right now, like, so let me know. So
I chose to like receive it.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like your friend can't always you get the point.
I didn't really like talk about like how to like make friends at this age, but I think like the main thing that we like got down to was like maintaining the friendships that you're already like in, I guess. I feel like this is like kind of a common thing for like people that are our age or like, I don't know, getting into adulthood. At least if you don't actually go through it, you're at least like thinking about it. Because I feel like there's also like a lot of like hate almost around like having small friend groups or like, oh, I don't have a lot of friends or anything like that. But I think it's just like, really important to remember, like I said before, like it's all about quality over like quantity. And I think what comes with that too is when it comes to quality friendships, if you feel like you don't even have those, this might be like controversial or like backhanded, but I think that there comes a point where you have to do some self-reflecting too, and thinking about like, well, what am I doing to the point where like I'm not even able to build these really close friendships? Because like if you're sitting there saying like, I'm so lonely, I have 0 friends, then it's like, okay, like are you putting your best foot forward? Are you making an effort? Are you pouring into people that are pouring into you? Are you pouring into people as much as they're pouring into you? And again, maybe you can't give all of that, right? But it's up to you to like decide what you're willing to give and, you know, set those boundaries like we've said. But yeah, I just think that like if you have come to the point in your adulthood where you have like 0 close friends, I would say like analyze that a little bit deeper and think like, okay, but why is it that I don't have like these deeper friends? Could it be something that I'm doing? And maybe it's not. Maybe it's just like you are literally a stay-at-home mom that 100% pours into your husband and your kids, and that's all you have the capacity for. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if I'll leave this in, but another thing is if you yourself only have one friend and one friend only, okay? And you feel like that friend isn't showing up for you the way that you need, but they're doing their best, it is not your friend's job to meet your standards. Because that's just one person, okay? Like, it's in relationships and anything. I mean, you get a partner and that might not be your ideal partner because they're not meeting your standards, right? So you go find someone else. With friendships, I feel like there's a little bit more like wiggle room. Go get another friend that can meet those standards. But it's not fair for you to put on your full expectations on this one friend.
I didn't mean like what I had said about like self reflection in a negative way in any way, shape, or form. But I just mean like that kind of comes with the territory of like making friends. Like you have to be self-aware too.
Yeah,
like
no, like
you can't just be like, it's everybody else and not me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like if you can't keep any friends around, like start looking inward rather than outward. Life isn't just black and white, guys. There's so many,
there's so much that goes
colors
into it.
Yeah.
Colors. It's a rainbow.
Yeah. And like Desi said, we didn't talk about like how to start friendships. Girl, I don't know how to start friendships. Did you see how we started?
Yeah, literally.
No, but
don't take advice from us on how to start friendships.
Because it's fuck that bitch. No, just kidding. But we hope that you guys like take away from this episode, like just think about, I guess, like be more graceful, more understanding. Look at your friendships, analyze them, and think, hey, you know what? I haven't talked to this friend in a while, but you're right. Maybe I should reach out and hang out with them. Or, hey, you know what? I had a falling out with one of my really good friends, and maybe this is your sign to like, if they're a good person, you kind of realize like, you know what? I guess you have a different perspective of like, maybe they were going through this, they were stressed out or whatever happened. If they talk shit about you, no, girl, no, throw it out the window.
Move on.
But if it's like life problems, that just got cut up, I will say, I just want to say this one last thing, okay? Don't you ever end a friendship over a boy. Unless that's your husband, okay? Husband, not your boyfriend. Husband.
If you ain't got a ring on your finger or that man's last name,
yes,
he's not worth it. I feel like that's controversial too.
Why?
Because like, what if your like best friend like goes to like date your ex after you guys break up or something? That's a reason to break up or to have a friendship breakup.
Yeah, never mind. We gotta go into a whole thing.
Yeah, that's like a whole nother beast of its own.
Okay,
because like if my bestie girl was gonna go and like date my ex, fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
I brought in a different perspective.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't mention it in the last episode, but we want to do a live episode on Instagram.
Oh yeah, we did mention it the last episode,
But
or was that the episode
audio
before?
cut off.
Oh, we didn't get to the ending.
Yeah.
Give us your thoughts in the comments or on Instagram. But we were thinking about doing a live episode on Instagram, a little Instagram live moment, because we had mentioned that we were having troubles with editing.
Yeah.
And
we're tired of that shit. We're going live.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
We think we have it on lock, but even then, we think it'd be fun to do a live episode.
Yeah. I think it would be really cool for you guys to like see it, like, and honestly, it would be fun to like be filming on live and then you tracking on live like the comments, and we can like be answering them like as we go, but still like have a topic to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, we think it would be really fun just so you guys like see it live and keep up with it. Like we want to obviously come up with a specific time that works for most people. And
I also want to take a moment, because we talked about this privately, but we haven't said it like publicly since, because it was on the last episode, but just the amount of like love and support that we receive. Sometimes I feel like you can find yourself, we say it a lot, like comparison is a thief of joy. And sometimes as much as we like preach that, we're human and we can't help but sometimes feel that level of like comparison when it comes to not necessarily just like it could just be like other people in general, right? That are doing something similar to us, or, you know, whatever. Basically, I'm just trying to say that we preach that comparison is a thief of joy, but we also can't help but like feel it sometimes. And so to know that like we are putting in as much as we are putting into the podcast and receiving love and those constant listeners, and like already starting to build those consistent, like those people that look forward to like hearing from us and seeing our videos and things like that, it means like so much to us. Like we were telling each other, we were like, it's that like extra boost of motivation that like we are doing this for a reason, because it is really hard to like show up every single day knowing that like we may not be getting like the interaction that we're like hoping for. We're not meeting like these certain goals that we have set up in our mind, right? But to know that we still have those like ride or dies, like consistent people that are there like constantly like waiting to hear from us and to like see us, like that's just
and it was
means
just
so much.
It meant a lot too, because we went like 3 weeks without posting, and there's obviously like I don't know about you, but me, like in the back of my head I had a thought of like maybe like people aren't even like,
they don't care.
Maybe people haven't even noticed that we haven't posted. Like they don't care. Like they're kind of like flew by them. And we posted our episode,
It was
and
like the first couple hours
there
it was
were
up.
2 comments, and they're like, "I've been waiting for this." Someone else was like, "Fine, like
Finally, like I've been waiting to see you guys," or something like that.
and it was like, wow, like people really are like waiting on us to post. Like they're actually sitting there like waiting with anticipation for us to like upload a new episode. And it's like, wow, like even if it's just 1 person or 10, like it's just nice to know that people actually like want to listen to like what we're saying. And again, it's really hard to not compare yourself and think like it's like what we talk about not good enough. But then it's also hard when like we talk about these topics and then we see like that there's other podcasts who touch on the same topics and they get all this validation, and it's almost like you want to like scream like, dude, like just listen to
like,
us.
look at us. Look at us.
Like we have a different perspective. It's good, I promise.
We put in so much thought. When I say like we put in so much to this podcast, I mean everything. I mean everything from
we brainstormed like 2 days.
Yes, like to the topics that we talk about. Like we want to have substance. We don't want to come on here and it be like every single time just a
yap session.
Like yes, obviously like that's what it is there for also, but like we want to have like substance to our conversations too. We want to obviously like capture your attention, because like what we're talking about is like meaningful shit. Like it's not just like us yapping.
It's things with a purpose and things that are like we think are constructive and will help you in life. Like we're not here just sitting and thinking about like, let's talk about this because people are gonna want to listen. No, we're thinking let's talk about this because it can help someone, because someone can get motivated by this. That's why we do this, and that's why we talk about the topics that we talk about, because we're not looking at what we gain from it. We're thinking what you're gonna gain from it. We're thinking how can we provide substance? How can we
make you feel seen?
I mean, I would like, influencers. How can we influence you in a good way? How can we make your life better rather than just sit here and feed you bullshit and crap and trash and just, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we want to make sure that we're helping you. Not that we're certified on anything. What are our certifications? We're girls.
But I think just speaking through our own experiences
Yeah.
and like, again, like providing like our perspectives, which may be a different perspective than you've even thought about before. But yeah, just finding like that. From the beginning, we've said that we want to be like a comfort show. Like we want to be like a comfort, like a place where you feel like seen and heard, and like where you can just like, there's no like, I don't know, like you said, like it's not really just like rambling bullshit. We may ramble sometimes, but for the most part, like it's really thought out and it's really intentional. We've said that since the beginning.
Yeah.
We're very intentional. And yeah, that's, so the people that have validated us in that way and like continue to show up, even though we have some like gaps here and there, we're still trying to figure out the ropes, you know? But like I told Caro, we're still kind of young as far as like Sippin' Pretty goes. Like it's young. Like we will barely this year be doing it for a year. And that's in what, June? So like the fact that we've showed up as consistently as we have this early on, and we are already making, I don't want to be those bitches that are like, we have so many plans, but we do have plans. We do have like a vision for what we're doing, and we want to like grow and better, like
a vision for what we want Sippin' Pretty to be.
Yeah.
Because we know it can be successful. We know it is successful even now, you know?
Yeah.
Battery. Shit. Bye. Okay, so I know.
But yeah, all that to say, we're like grateful for everybody that's here and listening and commenting, and it means the world to us. So keep listening, keep tuning in. Let us know if you want to hear the little live episode, if that's a good idea or not. And yeah, I guess we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.